Morning Scramble is presented by Wildlife World Zoo and Aquarium.
Welcome back to the Morning Scramble. Thanks for joining us today. You know, we often hear about the real estate market and how horrible it is during these times, but we're going to talk about the reality of it. Joining me today is Brian Gubernick, a realtor with Keller Williams. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And you are also with Homehelper Consultants real estate team.
That's correct. That's my real estate team under Keller Williams, Arizona.
And here today, we're going to focus specifically on short sales. You know, Brian, often we hear short sales, foreclosures, bank-owned properties. What exactly is a short sale?
What is a short sale? I think the best way maybe for me to explain is to give you an example. Let's say you have a first loan with Bank of America, $150,000, and a second loan with Wells Fargo for $50,000, common scenario. That home, $200,000 in debt, maybe in '06, unfortunately, may be worth about $100,000 today. You need to sell your home for whatever reason.
Right.
So now we have to sell a $100,000 property, yet there's $200,000 in debt. So we must go to both Bank of America and Wells Fargo and say, hey, you know, we've got a contract at $100,000, but we need you to write off or forgive the remaining debt. So in Bank of America's situation, it's the $50,000, and in the Wells Fargo situation, it's the 100% of their loan balance, another $50,000.
So, but for a short sale, you have to qualify as having a hardship in your life, such as a divorce, an illness. What are other hardships?
Banks want to see what they consider the true or traditional hardships. So divorce, like you said, loss of job, loss of income, medical expense, maybe forced job relocation. So they want to see a hardship exist. The fact of the matter is,
can we just create hardships? I mean, it seems like right now with the economy, everyone has a hardship.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, the fact of the matter is they want to see these things, but if there's a threat to that bank, if they feel that there's a potential that, you know, maybe they're not going to get payment, there's going to be motivation for them to work with you. And why? Because short sale in most every case is going to mitigate more loss for that bank in comparison to its other options, which, of course, are foreclosure.
Right. And you became involved in this because you specifically did a short sale on your own home.
That's right. Back in, market was way different, but it was towards the tail end of the good times, which we say.
Right.
So end of '06, I found myself personally in a situation, now, again, much different time, but I was an investor, bad investment for me, and I had to figure out a way to get out of this property without coming out of pocket. I didn't have the ability to come out of pocket the amount of money. So I called my bank at the time, which is a bank that's no longer in existence, but called them, and after 48 hours of arguing and yelling and hollering, they said, okay, we'll take less. I closed that transaction, had no idea what had happened. I was not selling real estate actively at that time. I was licensed, but I was not selling real estate for others. Learned after doing some research, going on Google and making some phone calls across the country, that what I just accomplished was called a short sale. So it was at that time I started saying to peers in the industry, hey, here's what I did. Know anybody in this situation? And sure enough, I think you know the rest of the story and how it was built from there.
Right. What is the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure? And are there certain times you would say just foreclose on the property?
There are times when you may say just foreclose on a property. There's some legal issues. There may be some tax issues. Of course, I have to throw the disclaimer, I'm not the accountant or I'm not the attorney, but having gone through almost 700 of these, I'm pretty confident in my knowledge in the situation. But as far as bank-owned versus short sale, a short sale oftentimes is referred to as a pre-foreclosure sale.
Okay.
So we're attempting to sell the property in order for the homeowner to actually avoid the foreclosure.
Okay.
So it could occur maybe a day before, the short sale could close a day before the foreclosure auction is scheduled. We have many of those deals closed like that, or the foreclosure auction actually gets extended, so more times granted by the bank in order to close the short sale. So the short sale is a technique or an option to avoid foreclosure.
Okay.
It's one of the options.
Do they both affect your credit in the same way?
No, not in the same way. Short sale, without a doubt, is going to save some credit there. As a matter of fact, I've been calling a lot of our former clients, just following up with them, of course, touching base. And the first question I'm asking was, well, how long did it take you to recover? How long did it take for your credit score to get back to where it was? And for the most part, they're telling me 8 months, 9 months, 10 months.
Not bad.
Which was surprising to me because if you go on the internet, you may find maybe 1.5 to 2 years. The catch, though, is to that, most people want to know, when can I buy again? Well, most loan programs out there are going to limit you to at least a 2-year hold period between the time you complete a short sale until the time that they'll consider you for financing again. Foreclosure, though, is oftentimes up to 7 years.
Right.
Usually 5 years. There's some requirements that need to be met at 5, but for many it'll extend to 7.
Right.
So just from the standpoint of being able to purchase again, you're looking at maybe 2 years in comparison to 5 to 7.
Okay. Is it a myth? I often hear that short sales, you can get a great deal on a home. I mean, the prices are very low. Is that a myth or is that reality?
I would say that's more of a myth than reality. In my experience, you can get a good deal on a short sale, meaning, call it 5–10% off of perceived market value. Of course, what is market value, especially in today's market? So it's tough to say. You can't really get a great deal. And I think when we refer to great deals, we're talking about maybe investors wanting to buy short sales.
Right.
And typically, you're not going to get a smoking deal on a short sale unless the bank makes some sort of mistake in their valuation of the property.
Right. Okay. The Tax Act.
Right.
Tell me about that.
There is the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act. It was passed at the end of '07. So let me go back real quick. So when we do a short sale, we're going to your bank and saying, forgive this debt, cancel this debt. Well, by law, whenever a bank cancels debt, and it's not specific to the mortgage debt, it could be your credit card debt, car debt, whatever it is, they must report that cancellation of debt to the IRS. The IRS is in turn going to require that bank to send you a 1099. So you're going to get a 1099 anytime there's debt canceled for the amount of debt cancellation. So the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act, it was something that was passed at the end of '07. And what this act did was eliminate the taxation on that 1099 in certain situations, most notably your principal residence. So if you're selling your principal residence via short sale, or maybe it's even going to foreclosure, you're getting a 1099. Well, there is this tax act that may protect you. And again, I'm not the accountant. I encourage everyone, go meet with your CPA because I'm not doing your taxes.
Right.
But it's the #1 way that our clients are getting around the potential tax liability to the short sale.
Okay.
Now, the key thing to note here, and something I really want to spread to the public, this tax act expires at the end of 2012.
Okay.
As it sits right now, it has not been extended. So if you're...
So we have roughly a year.
Well, we have roughly a year, but if you're going to look to short sell your property, the average short sale is going to take 3 to 4 months. When I say average, though, that means we have some deals that take 2 months. We also have some deals that are going to take 6, 7, maybe 8 months. So it's my belief that if action's not taken by February, March, April, May of next year, you may be really pushing it towards the end of that year. And again, we don't know if this tax act's going to be extended.
And Brian, there's a lot of information here. I mean, this can be a very confusing time. Like you said, when you were short selling your house, this is all confusing, going on the internet and Googling it. But you're in the process of writing a book. We're going to wrap up here, but tell us quickly about your book.
Yeah, we're basically writing a roadmap to the short sale process, explaining, what's the short sale, why would a bank agree or disagree, what it takes to complete one, credit ramifications, tax implications, things like that. So, yeah, we are detailing it and hope to have that coming out here soon in the next few months.
Good. Well, thank you so much. It was very interesting.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. Up next, Native American News. We'll be right back after the break.